Hey, welcome to the review for this Quadratics quiz we're about to take. All right, let's see. Let's take a look at this here. Rewrite in standard form. Okay, so they gave me this quadratic in factored form. Notice these are the factors, or no, this factor and that factor, right? If you multiply these together, you're going to get your standard form. So you can FOIL it out. You might know how to do the first, outer, inner, last. Or you might know how to distribute with the distributive property. Just multiply x times the x plus 7. Then multiply the negative 3 times the x plus 7. Add them all up. We could also use this area model right here. X minus 3. X plus 7. All right. Okay, so x times x. Remember, we're multiplying all this stuff. We're not going to add nothing. We're multiplying. X times x is x squared. Negative 3. I'm going to multiply negative 3 times x and get negative 3x. I'm going to multiply x times 7 and get 7x. I'm going to multiply negative 3 times positive 7. A negative times a positive is a negative. 3 times 7 is 21, negative 21. We got to add it all up and we'll have standard form. X squared plus 7x minus 3x minus 21. Now what we can do is combine like terms if we want to. I'll give you most of the credit if you can come up with this right here. If you can come up with that, I'd give you most of the points. But if you want to make it real nice and simplified, you could. We can combine these two like terms. See, this 7x and that minus 3x, they're best friends. BFFs, besties forever. So let's put them together. We'll get y equals x squared. 7 minus 3 is 4. So we got plus 4x minus 21. Okay, here is, I'm going to circle it in green because this is our standard form. Here's the first part of the quiz. You just multiply those two factors together. Now list all the intercepts as coordinate pairs. My horizontal intercepts, I'm trying to figure out what x minus 3 gives me a 0 in here. If I can get this to equal 0, who cares what that is? Because anything times 0 is 0. You know what minus 3 equals 0? 3. 3 minus 3 would be 0. So when x is 3, y is going to be 0. How does that work? Well, I'm going to get 3 minus 3. I get 0 over here. 3 plus 10, or I'm sorry, 3 plus 7. If I make this x3, I'm going to get 10 over here. But guess what? 0 times 10 equals 0. That's why this works. You're just picking the opposite of whatever they're adding or subtracting from, right? What's the opposite of positive 7? That'd be negative 7. If we make x negative 7, we're going to get 0 in this factor, and whatever this is over here, who cares? Negative 7 minus 7, you'll get negative 10 here, but you're going to get 0 over here. You make x equal to negative 7. So x is negative 7. Y is going to be 0. Let's put that on our graph. So when x equals 3, y is 0. Here's 3 over here. I'm going to put the 3 right on the side so it doesn't get in the way of my parabola. How about that negative 7? When x is negative 7, y equals 0. 2, 4, 6, 7's right here. Negative 7. All right, now I got my two horizontal intercepts. That's where y equals 0. Remember, when you're writing your coordinate pairs, x is on the left, y is on the right. It says it right there in the instructions. How about vertical intercept? Well, we're just trying to think of where is x equal to 0. If we can figure out what happens when x is 0, we're going to know where the graph crosses my vertical axis. So where's my y-intercept? Well, check it out. 0 minus 3. If I make x 0, I'm going to get negative 3 times 0 plus 7 is 7. When x equals 0, let's maybe go with blue for this one. When x equals 0, my y was negative 21. Now, you could plug it into here. I recommend, see, you could plug it into here and make this 0 and that 0 and that 0, and all you're going to have left is negative 21. And that's what this is right down here. Guess what? It's right here also. Look, it's always going to be that bottom right-hand corner of our area model. Guess what this is? This is the vertical intercept. When x equals 0, all you're going to have left is negative 21. I recommend plugging it in here because we know there's no mistakes here. You might have made a mistake when you wrote standard form. You could, but should get the same answer if you're plugging in 0 for all your x's. Guess what? You're going to end up with negative 21. All right, let's put that on the graph. Obviously, there's not 21 squares in the negative part of this graph, so I'm gonna count these squares as 3 each. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21. Negative 21 down here. And you want to kind of move that somewhere where it's not going to get in the way of your graph. We got to remember our graph is going to be going through, right through here. So we could get it a little bit closer than that. There's negative 21. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 squares down. 7 times 3 is 21. All right. Now we're trying to figure out what's the coordinate of the vertex. The vertex, guess what, guys? The vertex, it's always going to be right in the middle of these two horizontal intercepts. It's just the way the parabola goes. It's going to be right in the middle. So I'm thinking, how far is 3 from negative 7? Well, I got 7 here, and I got 3 there. It adds up to 10 little squares. You can count them if you want. There should be 10 little squares between 3 and negative 7. So now I'm thinking, what's half of 10? Let's go with hot pink here. Look, I got 10 right here. They're 10 away from each other. Half of 10 would be 5. So I'm looking for something that's 5 away from 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And 5 away from 3. That'll be right in the middle, right? Because half of 10 is 5. Well, that's looking like negative 2 to me. Negative 2. Problem is, that's just the x value, okay? We can find the x value by looking right in the middle. But we need to find the y value because I'm not sure how far down to put this thing, right? I know it's going to be when x equals negative 2, but I'm not sure what the y value is. So we're going to plug negative 2 in for x up here. And you know where I like to plug it in? To this part right here, negative 2. When x is negative 2, and x is negative 2. Negative 2 minus 3, I'm going to get negative 5. And negative 2 plus 7 is positive 5. So it's a positive times a negative is a negative. It's looking like y is going to be negative 25. So if this is 21, negative 25 will be about right down here. All right, but your point's got to go right here. This vertex is where x equals negative 2 and y equals negative 25. All right, now we got 4 points to go through here. What should I graph? What color we got for that? Let's graph it in green. So my graph, I'm going to hit all these points, right? It goes to that horizontal intercept. It goes through my vertex, which I found because it was right in the middle of my 2 horizontal intercepts. And then I plug that number in to find the y value. It goes through my vertical intercept, which is just whatever that constant term is in standard form. Or if you multiply the 2 constants together in factored form and hit this other horizontal intercept, bada bing, bada boom. You don't really need this part right here. That was just to help us find the x value of the vertex. And that's what your graph should look like right there. I'll do one more example.